Yo, what is up, everyone? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Prodigy channel, and the NFL playoffs start today. So I'm just going to go ahead and make my own bracket in honor of the NFL postseason starting today. Make sure to comment down below who you think is going to make the big game and leave that game as NFL champions for the 2020 to 2021 football season. And with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and start entering in this bracket, starting with Buffalo against Indianapolis. And this is one of the games I'm more excited about for the wild card weekend. I think it will be a good game, but I cannot go against Josh Allen and what he is doing. I am taking the Buffalo Bills here to beat the Indianapolis Colts. All right, now we're going to move on to this game where the Pittsburgh Steelers are taking on the Cleveland Browns. And it has been really cool to see Cleveland make the playoffs after not making it for so long. And they are a very, very solid team. I think I'm going to take Pittsburgh in this one, though. They started the season hot, and they had a little bit of a rough stretch there. I think they lost, 3 games in a row or something like that. But they did end up beating the Colts, I think it was. And then against this Cleveland team with a bunch of backups in, Cleveland did win, but it wasn't by a lot. And then earlier in the season, Pittsburgh beat up Cleveland pretty well. So I think I'm going to take Pittsburgh in this one. But I don't know. It could be a close one. But I'm going to take Pittsburgh. And then moving to this matchup right here, this is another good one, man. I think this one is going to be good. You really can't go wrong with this one. Lamar Jackson versus Ryan Tannehill. The Titans do have Derrick Henry there. Baltimore has been running the ball well as a team. The Titans did beat Baltimore in overtime early in the season. And you know what? If I had to pick, I think I'm going to go ahead and say that Tennessee wins this one again in this rematch from earlier in the season. I'm going to take Tennessee over Baltimore. And then this is a weirder bracket this year. We have 7 teams instead of 6. So I think that would still... Okay, so that would be Tennessee. But if I would have picked Cleveland to win, for example, they would have then played the Chiefs. But Tennessee is the 4th seed, Pittsburgh is the 3rd seed, and Buffalo is the 2nd seed. So yep, the Kansas City will be taking on Tennessee right there. So now we're going to move on to the NFC wildcard round. So Tampa Bay versus Washington. Listen, Washington, they got a solid defense, you know what I'm saying? But on offense, I'm a little bit worried. Tampa Bay, they got Tom Brady. They got a little bit of an offense rolling there. You know, Washington did make the playoffs. They are technically a better seed than Tampa Bay, but that's just because they won their division. Basically, the NFC East was pretty awful this year, so someone had to make it out of there. It just so happened to be Washington. I think their future is bright, especially on defense with Chase Young, but I'm going to go ahead and take Tampa Bay. Tom Brady and Bruce Arians leading the way to a wild card victory right there. And now we're going to move on to Seattle against the LA Rams. And as of this recording, it has not been announced if Jared Goff is playing in this game or not. Just even if he was playing, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I'd pick Seattle. I like the Rams defense, but on offense, I'm just a little bit worried if it is Goff playing. I haven't really loved what I've seen from him lately. And if it's the backup, what's his name, Walford, I don't even know. I think they have a pretty similar chance of winning either way with Walford's running ability. But I'm going to go ahead and take Seattle. I'm going to take Russell Wilson here. They just seem like the more, put together team right now, capable of winning this game. But I think it could be a close one, a divisional matchup right there. So I'm going to take Seattle, though. I lean Seattle. And then here we got the New Orleans Saints against Chicago. And you know what? I'm taking the Saints. Listen, the Bears have been playing well with Mitch Trubisky, with his unbenching, I guess you can call it. But I'm not going to go against the Saints here. I'm going to take New Orleans. So making sure all the seeding is right. So Tampa Bay is the 5th seed, so they would play Green Bay because Seattle is the 3rd and New Orleans is the 2nd. So upset-wise, technically seeding-wise, Tampa Bay would be an upset over Washington, but record-wise, Tampa Bay had a much better record. Any upsets? I guess no. Nothing too crazy in the first round. I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe Baltimore, Tennessee flip, or even I think this Colts-Buffalo game is going to be really, really good, guys. I honestly do. But now we're going to move on to the next round, the divisional round of the playoffs. We're going to start back over here in the AFC. We got Pittsburgh and Buffalo. And I think this is where, some of the deficiencies on the Steelers run out. And this is where I think Josh Allen takes that next step into becoming one of the league's elite quarterbacks. I think Buffalo Bills are going to make the AFC Championship game in a kind of a chalk play, and in yet another chalk move. I cannot go against the Kansas City Chiefs right now. Sometimes it is fancy to, pick the upset. I do get it, but I'm just not going to pick against Kansas City. I just love what they're doing. Obviously, they have Patrick Mahomes. Their offense is crazy good. right? And then, okay, moving on to the NFC right here. We got Seattle and New Orleans. Now, this right here, this is actually a tough one. Oh my goodness. But I'm leaning New Orleans. I think it's going to be a good game. You know, you got the number 2 and the number 3 seed playing each other. Both teams had a chance of being the number 1 overall seed and getting that first round bye. But I'm going to lead New Orleans here. I think they're going to, you know, destroy some of their demons that they've had in the past with some playoff luck. They've had some bad things happen to them in the playoffs, so I'm going to go ahead and take New Orleans here. And then we're going to move on to this matchup right here, Green Bay and Tampa Bay. Again, in kind of a chalky move. I'm just going to stick with the Packers. Like, I really do like, I mean, I'm a Vikings fan, okay, so I'm not going to say I like the Packers, but I like what they've been doing this year. Last year, I thought they were a little bit fluky based on their record and kind of how some of the games went. But this year, Aaron Rodgers, he's out to prove something, and that is a scary thing to run into. Tampa Bay does have Tom Brady, and, you know, he obviously has a lot of playoff success. But I think this is Green Bay's time to shine with Aaron Rodgers. So now we're moving on to the AFC and NFC Championship game. So we got the 1 and 2 seed and the 1 and 2 seed. So, I mean, I didn't really think about what I was going to do too much before I filled out this bracket. But genuinely, this is kind of what I expected. So the interesting game here to me is Kansas City and Buffalo. I'm telling you, I really do like the Bills. I really do think they have the chance of keeping up with the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh man, but the Chiefs, they're so good, man. They got Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes there. Tyreek Hill is so explosive. My goodness. Buffalo, they got Josh Allen. They got Stephon Diggs. He's made some big plays in the playoff. He got that Minneapolis Miracle on his resume. I think this could be a very, very high-scoring, exciting game. I don't know. I don't know what to pick, honestly. Now, in terms of betting odds, if you were to bet on a team to make the Super Bowl and to win the Super Bowl, I think Buffalo is a very, very solid pick because they have pretty good odds because Kansas City is the favorite to win the Super Bowl as of this recording. But just straight up, it's so hard for me to pick against Patrick Mahomes. I honestly think that they have a chance to repeat as Super Bowl champions. Nothing has really happened to make me think otherwise. So I'm staying with the number 1 seed, Kansas City defeating Buffalo. But listen, I know I've said this a few times throughout this bracket, but I like, you know, how I think it could be a close game. I think this could be a very, very close game. But Kansas City has been there and done that. They have a lot of experience from last year winning the Super Bowls, and they have that first round bye. So they're not, you know, they didn't have to play the wild card round. So I really do think that just a situation, I'm going to have to slightly lean towards Kansas City there. And then we got Green Bay and New Orleans, a game that would be really cool to see Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers facing off. And it would be cool to see Drew Brees, you know, make the Super Bowl in possibly his final year. But it would also be cool to see Green Bay make the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers making it after, you know, the team drafted a quarterback to potentially replace him early in the draft instead of giving him another receiver. So while I think this could be another really, really good and entertaining game with 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, I'm going to have to go Green Bay here. I really am. And it's weird because, like I said, last season I thought they were a little bit fluky, but this year, I mean, seeing what they've done to so many teams with that offense, Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams are just clicking right now. So as long as Adams stays healthy throughout the playoffs, you got Aaron Jones in the running game. I mean, this is, I don't know. I honestly think that this will be a very, very good matchup, but I think Green Bay is going to win. And here we have Green Bay versus Kansas City in the Super Bowl. I know it's not super crazy exciting. But here's the thing. I'm not just picking these teams because they're the number 1 seeds. It really, in my opinion, it would come down to Buffalo and Kansas City. I think those are the 2 best teams in the AFC right now, especially just because of their offenses. But here's the thing. Even if Green Bay was the 2 or the 3 seed, I would pick them to advance over, you know, New Orleans or Seattle. So a couple other teams that had a chance. They were in the mix for that number 1 seed. So if that kind of gives you an idea, I'm not just picking Green Bay because they are the number 1 seed. I genuinely do think that they are the superior team in the NFC above Tampa Bay, Seattle, and New Orleans. So yeah, now we got to pick between these 2 teams. Oh man, what are we going to do? So we have a matchup here between 2 teams that had a first round bye, 2 very, very explosive offenses. It's really, really hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes, though. That's all I got to say. They're 14-2. The only actual game that they lost was against the Raiders. It was a divisional matchup. It was a close game. And then week 17, they had a bunch of backups in the game. They didn't play any starters, really. And they did lose to the Chargers in week 17. The Kansas City Chiefs did. So And looking back even to last season, they've been on such a run of success. They've just been winning all sorts of games. So it's not really that bold, honestly, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Kansas City Chiefs. Sometimes it is more fun to, bet against someone other than the number 1 seed, but sometimes it is also just the smart thing to do is to bet on the number 1 seed, especially when it's a team like the Chiefs, who have really just been dominating the league over the last couple of years. So I'm going to pick them to repeat as NFL champions. That is truly what I believe will happen. But like I said, some underdog picks in the AFC. I really like Buffalo. And then in the NFC, to me, it's the Packers. I think the Packers are just a level above some of these other teams, honestly. But, you got all these great quarterbacks. You got Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, and Aaron Rodgers. So you never know what can happen. Any of those teams could end up making it to the big game and winning with that type of quarterback play. So yeah, guys, that is going to do it for this video where I made my playoff bracket here for the 2021 NFL playoffs. Make sure to comment down below, like I said, what you think is going to happen in these playoffs, if you agree or disagree with any of my picks, and let me know why. And yeah, guys, that's going to do it for the video. Thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more football content, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.